All right, Jacob's question is up next. It says, at what step in the FOO does it make sense to switch careers to a lower paying job with high income potential? I'm living comfortably with my current job, but my career advancement is very limited. So is there a step in the FOO that this makes sense, or how should he think about this?
Man,
I had somebody
you go.
who came to me. It was an adult child of one of my clients that I had a call with, and I could tell now, realize they were already 10, 15 years into their career. And they feel having this grass is greener type feeling on the other side, that maybe they should change careers to go. Yeah, but I asked a key question. I said, do you like your job? And they're like, yeah, I love what I do. But I wish I made more money. I was like, okay, let's make sure that the why intersects here, because the comparison is the thief of joy, and we always think the grass is greener for somebody else. I said, realistically, because I said, what's eating you up? And he was like, well, I've got this friend that works in finance. This friend does this, sells insurance, and they're making all this money. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you don't really know if they're making all the money you think they're making, because that industry is harder than most people realize. The other thing is even if you made the job change, I think you have to take into account the opportunity cost of how long it takes you to become an expert and to actually reach traction point where you're making the money you think you'll make in that job. And for him, I estimated, I said, it's probably 8 to 12 years. I was like, so if you're in your upper 30s, are you really willing to pause your life for the next 8 to 12 years? And it might be, I don't know the Jacob's situation. It might be shorter, it might be might be longer. And I was like, so if that doesn't work, and plus you answered the why of you love your job, I don't know that I think you are just doing the comparison thing. Now, let me give you the other side, because we have a whole room full of career changers who were such financial mutants that they were so ahead of the curve on their financial assets. They were like, I just don't like where my life is. My why is no longer connected to waking up in the morning feeling like I'm making the world a better place in my own small way, and I have fulfillment from what I'm going to work to do. And they bought their time, meaning they got ahead of the curve so that they could go to make a life change to do something where they did wake up with purpose. I think those are two completely different things. So the first question, Jacob, do you like your job, and do you feel like you get fulfillment from it, is the first step I would take.
Yeah, I love it. And I think what's interesting is, in my experience, it's easy for younger people to do giant career changes than older people, just because you probably have less people depending on you. You have more time to kind of, if it doesn't work out exactly the way you think, time can kind of hide that. But what we have found is with our career changers, I don't know that it's being at a specific step in the FOO where you make this decision, but if you can follow the FOO from as early as you can, what that does allow you to do is, if you are someone who decides to do this later in your 30s or in your 40s, and you've been following the FOO and you've been doing the stuff that you're supposed to be doing, it sets you up on a platform to be able to navigate it better than someone who's not done that. So I don't know that it's a specific stage in the financial order of operations where you should consider a career change. I think that the career does have to come more back to the qualitative pieces and the quantitative pieces. Just because you think that you might make more money doing something else doesn't mean that you will for sure make more money. It doesn't mean, like Brian said, that you're gonna love it. So I would really, really assess those two factors really, really hard before I jumped into it. And if you are gonna make a jump, I do think, and Brian always gives this guidance, one of the things you should do before you ever think about a career change is you should put on your 3D glasses. You should do your dream plan. What if it goes just swimmingly well, better than I expect? Your down to earth plan. Okay, what do I think is realistically going to happen? And then you got to go with the do-do plan. What if I take this lower paying job, and this lower paying job never even gets me back to what I was making at the job that I left? If that happens, would you still be happy with the move? Would you still be satisfied? Or are there other levers you can pull to be able to influence your financial situation? I think you got to go through that assessment before you can make the leap.
And don't skip the do-do plan.
And don't skip the do-do.
No, seriously, because actually you got to go into it with what happens if this thing doesn't turn out to be the rainbows and sunshine and unicorns that I thought it was going to be. Nobody wants to do that, the do-do part of the plan. But I think that that's the smart way, because there's going to be a lot of clarity when you're looking at maybe my job isn't so bad. Because like this person I was talking about, the part that I think they were failing to also consider, they had a great pension that was going to come. So it's not, there's usually a trade-off in life. You know, some of the
Always
people you
opportunity
daydream about, yes, they might make more money, but do they own their time? Because if they're having to leave the house and travel 4 days out of the week, you know, to make this huge income, is that the same quality of income? So just make sure you're giving a full picture in accounting. When you're doing the T-chart of the benefit, the pros and the cons, make sure you're being honest on all aspects, not just letting the money be the driver of the decision, that you actually need the life and the why to intersect with those points as well.